Sergeant Bale, questions a minute. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this meeting. I was given this yesterday. Was given a couple of talking points, and then we can go to questions from there. The status updates are the crime rate overall is down 12% from last year. The last 28 days is down in several categories. Homicide being the glaring one, but that was because we had a really bad year. And the burglaries are up. Beyond that, Councilmember Saga covered a couple of things. Some of the issues that you guys were talking about, the encampment, Westwood Village, the schools, second watch hours, I can say that's the daytime hours. We've moved our emphasis units up into the school area, that encampment, and Westwood. Unfortunately, not really going into staffing so much as the limited resources have to cover a large area, and some have specific time frames, like school let-out times. We want to make sure our youth are safe. We want to make sure that there are officers there, and that includes West Seattle High School, so now we have 2 schools in 2 geographical locations that need to be covered. We're pulling from limited resources here, but that has been upgraded since last week. We moved them off of Alki. Nighttime, if you live down in Alki, nighttime still has the emphasis units down on the Alki because that's more of an issue at night, street racers, gun violence. But yeah, we've made several arrests lately out of the encampment. Associated with the encampment would be a better way to put that. Narcotics arrests, some of the shoplifting that goes on. We're doing what we can with the people we capture, but we can't book for most of them. So we try to, like the shoplifting example, we get their names, we write the report. Unfortunately, it's a catch and release at that time, but if they do go back, that upgrades to a felony level. Felonies can be booked. Until we get this score online for us to be able to use, that's limited to just outside agency warrants, the DOC warrants, that type of thing. That's on a case-by-case when we have enough officers available to then run one all the way to Des Moines to drop them off. When this comes online, I can see great things going with it, but it is just another resource or tool that is going to assist, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and for the encampment there, I was there with some of the arrests. We did get some of the individuals with drug paraphernalia and drugs. We of course handed them off to the LEAD program, which they in turn took them, and they're supposed to be registering for this program. So hopefully that's going to help out, hopefully getting some of these people out in the streets. It's not an all catch-all be all, but it's the most that we can do because we can't book these crimes, unfortunately. So we're trying our best.
I'll also just mention, related to the encampment at 24th and Trenton, which a lot of folks have brought up today, I was a part of a meeting today with the Unified Care team and received an update that I can provide for you all. If you would like it, is more or less what the sergeant and Councilmember Saka have said, is that the date is in the next 2 weeks, that it will be remediated or resolved, and that their intention and commitment is to continue to monitor it after that occurs. But they do rely on our community to continue to update us. If after they have remediated / resolved the site, if folks do come back, it is on our community to help us to report that and let us know right away so that it can be remediated again. I know there's lots of questions. Sorry, are you prepared to take questions at this time? Okay, I would like, again, please be respectful. I will go in order and then I'll let you know. Marianne, please start. Please say your name and either an organization or neighborhood that you live in, as that can help us to tailor our response.
Hi, I'm Marianne McCord, and I'd like to say I'm all of your neighbors. But I am in the South Delridge Highland Park area, and we have been working with Layla for that Trenton Street issue. But we also have lots of vans that are going in 3 different areas in South Delridge. And what I'm asking for you to clarify is, you take them away, you remediate, let's stop moving around. Don't scoot them from block to block. And so they cleared the ones at 16th, both on Cambridge and on, I can't remember what that street is. And they came to my neighborhood. So they're at Henderson. So I would like to have no parking, overnight parking in certain areas that we know these RVs and especially at Trenton, where they have also the SWAC. There's no reason to have overnight people there. So let's have 24-hour, no overnight parking. Let's not do it. And so, anyway, we've been working with Layla, and I appreciate all your efforts. And I also want to get just a hands up. How many people are here for Trenton Street? Quite a few.
Thank you all for being here and raising your concerns. Councilmember Saka, of course, is aware, and of course SPD is as well. Marianne, thank you for those comments. I'm happy to speak with you about that and pass that request specifically on to SDOT, as parking is SDOT. In the back, yellow stripe.
Sometimes the police.
I'll paraphrase your question. The question was, with a blacked out plate, how does the automatic license plate readers that Councilmember Saka spoke about, how does that work with a blacked out plate? Sarge, can you speak to enforcement related? Or missing plates, no plates at all, or blacked out plates, unreadable plates.
Currently, if the vehicle doesn't have any plates, we can make a stop on that vehicle. If it's been relocated somewhere else that's not on radar, and a lot of them have likely fake, but some kind of a temporary registration, it's paper plates. That information is collected, it's put into a system, but ultimately, we just have to keep looking out for the same vehicle descriptions that are doing them. The gun violence reduction team does a much better job of being a clearinghouse for the gun violence related information and the vehicles that are associated with that. And sometimes we come across them, sometimes not. As far as it goes with the automated license, that's just, if the system picks it up, it does. It's another tool that can assist, but it's not going to be the overall, like, it's not going to run everybody's plates and pop everything just as it comes across them.
But it is illegal to remove your license plate.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And if we see somebody that, say, they live on our street, and then they park their car on the public road every day without a license plate.
Find it, fix it, report it every day.
Parking enforcement, find it, fix it.
Every day, report it every day.
Other questions, Kirsten?
So I was told that you guys weren't able to use the LPR system yet. Are you now able to use it? Is the city allowed you to use it?
We have ALPRs that are mobile.
Okay.
I believe the system they're talking about is a fixed system
Is
or
the-
an additional.
Is the
to
fixed
that.
system available now, or?
It's not available to us. They haven't even, to my understanding, purchased the equipment for it. They're just in the beginning stages of getting that past the surveillance ordinance and authorizing it for future use.
And you would have probable cause if you saw a stolen vehicle to stop that person and pull them over?
Yeah, the problem is of stopping, but yes, I can stop.
Yeah.
Layla, do you have any additional comments on that at this time?
Not better than what SPD could probably say.
Fair enough. Pink hat, and then we'll go to the back over there, sir.
Hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm here in North Delridge. I'm kind of the opposite of Maryland. I want them moved around, and I don't think there'd be as much of an issue if they just didn't take up residence for 6 months at a time. We've got one, but I'm wondering why the ticket, meter people can't put in the coordinates. We've got one RV in my block who's been there for 3.5, 4 months. And she says, when I've reported it over and over, they say, well, he's moved. No, he hasn't. He's been between this exact same 2 trees for 4 months. And they claim, well, that it's no longer on the tire. Why can't they just mark the coordinates, on the GPS every time we do it?
So technically, the 72-hour ordinance says you cannot park in 100 block for 72 hours. If you move and then return, your clock restarts.
They said that doesn't, but this thing has never moved. And she said, have you watched it 24 hours a day? No, but I'm up and down that street over and over and over all day long.
If you'd like to email me, I'm happy to forward the complaint along to a parking enforcement supervisor to ask for additional information about that. I can't necessarily speak to it in the moment, but I'm happy to pass that concern along.
Thanks.
In the back over there, and then we'll go to green shirt here in the front.
My name's Michael. I'm a little bit here on Barton, and on top of Trenton, which I've seen, there's also a trouble spot on Barton
information and pass it along to the appropriate resource.
Okay.
In the moment, criminal activity, I recommend calling 911 to report that. For the encampment itself, the RV itself, find it, fix it is the best option. So you can always email me directly, and I'm happy to give information about the best way to move forward. Thank you. Here in the green shirt, and we'll jump over here.
Yeah, my name's Corey. Sure, I just live right across the street from Marianne. So when I heard the term resolve and moved and cleared up, but it's just pushed like they're back in our street again, and it takes weeks and weeks and weeks of find and fix it and stuff. I think the problem's been a little more brazen lately too. It's been more. I don't know if it's just the criminals. It just seems to be more apparent with the types of campers and the situation going on. I don't think anyone in this room is not compassionate about people that are unhoused and want help and just need a helping hand up. It's the people who don't want help, who can play the system and just be high, or admittedly so. Like they don't want to do it, because it's easy. It's easy to wait. It seems like there's a frustration there. So I really think the police, because I know they are severely understaffed and they have to deal with the most, what causes frustration and people frustration them. But we feel helpless, right? Because it is. I was able to walk by, and I know these campers because they got pushed from our neighborhood. I was able to walk by midday with some passed out, with taking pictures and videos of it with two guys opening a stolen Thule car rack, and it's just like, this is like, it's insane. And you know what's crazy is I go around Beach Drive, I go around Alki, I go around North Admiral. I don't see a camper anywhere. I don't see any of those nice neighborhoods. One of those campers ended up in I went down Beach Drive, and one of those campers ended up there. They would be gone. And I just feel like our neighborhood's bearing the brunt of this epidemic because we're not maybe as wealthy. I don't know what the secret sauce is, but it seems like they have the upper hand. And I think that's where the frustration comes, is that us as homeowners, and that's like, if you came into our house and we were smoking fentanyl and leaving wide open and stealing jet, we would be taken care of quickly. Our neighbor got a letter from the city to cut branches with a camper that was selling freaking fentanyl like 20 feet away, and it was so frustrating. So I think that's what it is, and it's not. I don't blame the police officers doing everything they can, and I don't blame Rob Sock because it's a citywide problem. But man, what the hell? It's just so frustrating that nothing can be done about it.
Yep. Over here,
Sorry.
and then I'll bounce over there. Was there a specific question you wanted us to address there? Or
I think that's just the
sharing concerns?
frustration, yeah,
Okay.
the concerns about it, because we do email you, we do call you, we do clean up the mess time and time again, and we hear about it, it's a problem. Yeah, well, do something. I don't know, and I'm not saying it directly to you or.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing those concerns.
No,
Over
but
here, and then we'll
the
jump to
question,
Charlotte.
what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do?
Report the
Like-
find and fix it. I've been on chain with my wife and the
Yeah.
email a lot.
What do we
Care
do?
team has never once responded, other than sending out a blanket email, and I'm sure they sent.
It'll be
out
taken
everyone.
care of in a
So
couple weeks.
Who in the mayor's office should we be
For
complaining
months
to?
or years.
Who should we be raising this if it's not, the legislative branch can't do anything about it? Yeah, who are we supposed to be complaining to? That's a specific question.
Yeah.
So to answer the specific question, so criminal activity should be reported via 911. If you're witnessing criminal activity, report it via 911.
And what raises to have a 911 call to? Because
Criminal activity in the
So if
moment.
someone's doing drugs, call 911?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Criminal
Someone
activity in the
out on
moment
street.
should be called 911.
911.
911.
Yeah.
And I understand the frustration, I really do. As Councilmember Saka said, I personally get emails almost every single day, sometimes multiple times a day about this particular encampment, and I do understand. I go to that area too, just like these officers and our sergeant as well. Criminal activity in the moment, call 911. In terms of the long-term issue that is the Unified Care Team, I understand the frustration. Please know that there are many encampments throughout the city that they are in charge of, and they are prioritizing based on the amount of complaints that they get. So I often encourage, file a report every day, so that it rises to their concern. And they do have a weekly meeting that our team attends, and we do raise those concerns every week and share those concerns. So feel free to reach out to me directly as well. My business card is over there. I know there's lots of hands. I do have one here, then Charlotte, and then I will get to the next, I promise.
Hi, I'm Katie Harris. I live on the hill above Admiral Way, and I am concerned about the ever-increasing drag racing that's happening around Spokane Street. West Marginal, people are gathering under the bridge on Spokane Street like 10:30 at night. It's packed with people in their
dedicated emphasis units that are down for the Alki area. And when we say Alki, there's more to Alki than just being sitting on Alki at the beach. The Donnery boat ramp, the angle parking, harbor, it does extend, and that car has wheels, it will travel. We do need a kind of a credible information and an address to go to before we can go. You give me yours. Give me yours and say it's to the west.
I give them my address, but my street is not the problem.
I understand, just say it's, you hear it to the west, and
I hear it to the east.
to the east.
Yes, I think the problem may be on West Marginal, but I am not certain.
Not trying to tell you to do more work, but find the 100 block on West Marginal you think it is, and just use that one. Officers will go there, we go to every call we get, and they will send down there, it goes up priority tier, I'm just familiar with that, we can talk later, but they will get somebody there, and that beach unit can move over there if it has to do with what they're currently in emphasis mode for. Nighttime is the cars, the car clubs, the loud drag racing, all of that.
Yes, it's between 9:30 and 3:30.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Jennifer. Charlotte Stark, Alki County Council, neighbor here, Steve Humphrey. We work a lot together over on Harbor, just to bring peace as much as possible in our capacity as citizens. But I want to go back to what the gentleman over here said about the cameras and the stable cameras. So we have, the governor of California is implementing 480 flock cameras just in the city of Oakland. Just Oakland. They have very liberal politics, and just as we do. And I'm just wondering, my question is regarding the technical piece, the funding piece, the political piece about the cameras, crime cameras. So you have the license plate reading cameras, which are great, but they're mobile. So it seems like the cat and mouse game is not an effective strategy when we're 400 officers short. We don't have enough cats.
Stolen vehicles, too.
So these other cities are implementing, and Walla Walla just grabbed these flock cameras, announcing it yesterday. They are stable, so we can put them in the hot spots that we already know exist. So it's Don Armani, it's where the encampments are, it's around our schools, to keep our schools and our kids safe, and they're stable, and they're eyes all the time. Why can't we get those?
So, thank you very much, Charlotte, for bringing that up. I think that's something that I would like to have Layla bring up to Councilmember Saka. That is something that at a city level needs to be approved through a surveillance ordinance. That's not necessarily something that at the police level we would have any control over. I think I can speak for us that we would love that. We would love that capability.
Yeah, and I don't mean at you, because we are working. The problem is the implementation piece, and we all need to get on the same page that it's a piece of strategy. So when we talk to them, they want us to videotape and turn that in, which, like Steve does, I do. I'm sure a ton of people here videotape and submit to a shotgun spray of city contacts. But the problem is, stable cameras are still not being implemented, and you're talking about this surveillance, this filter it has to go through, right? I'm told we have to have fatalities to get them in the spots we need them. We've had fatalities. We still don't have them. He's had 2 shoot. I don't even know how many bullet casings this man has had around his house.
Thank you.
I have them on my street. I'm upset because we're sick and tired of no implementation of tools that support you guys in your job. And Layla, I work with your staff, and what does it take? Just tell us, what does it take?
What did it take Walla Walla? Can we just follow their system?
Well, that's a good question. So I do want to be respectful that there are lots of other questions, Charlotte. I really do appreciate that. I'm going to ask Layla to pass along that question to Councilmember Saka and ask that he include a note in his newsletter or something to our constituents about that specific question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And pardon my raised voice. I apologize. I'm normally
I totally understand and I appreciate the passion. White shirt over here and then hat in the back.
Okay, my name is Carmen Clark, and I live on Genesee Hill. And I got to tell you that there's not just problems in certain areas, there's problems on Genesee Hill. Because I got to tell you, people were sitting in the car doing drugs, and I could look down into their car, seeing them do the drugs. I called the police, they never came. I waited a little while, and I called the police, and they never came. So that's what I mean, if the police don't show up when you call 911 and activities going on, because I could see it was going on right there. So, I mean, if 911 is because you don't have enough officers to come out when the activity's taking place, or what, should I then in turn call you at 11 o'clock at night when they're sitting there, I mean, doing the drugs?
Thank you very much for that question. I'm going to touch on it real quick and then I'll pass it to you, Sarge. Couple of things. I can't necessarily speak to that particular incident, but one thing I will suggest is when calling 911, always ask, if you would like, contact from the responding officer. That way, if possible, they can contact you when they do arrive. There are times when it takes us a long time to respond, but you always can call back 911 and say, I haven't seen an officer, I would like to speak with an officer, please, when they arrive. Sarge, would you like to share additional? Okay. I think, I apologize, I cannot speak to that particular incident, but I will also say that calling 911, even if we're not able to respond in a super timely manner, is very helpful for data. Because, for example, if we know that there's a particular time and a place where something is happening, we have multiple calls at that location, that can be really helpful for us to know, and our officers to know who worked that day and time and location, so that they can hopefully work to address that. So I apologize that you did not see an officer at that time, but I do still encourage you to call 911 to report active crime happening and ask for contact from that responding officer when they arrive. Sorry, anything to add there? Okay. We're going to go to here, and then I promise here. In the back, and then here.
My name is Johanna from Highland Park, and I'm the neighborhood captain for my block. And there has been a lot more gun violence in the neighborhood, and I'm just wondering, has there been an increase of police presence in that area? Is there a plan to have police presence in the area? And what is the community, can I tell my neighbors to do sort of preventative so that this doesn't keep happening over and over?
So there is no emphasis directly for that neighborhood. It's currently shifted to the schools, the Trenton encampment, and Westwood Village as a group. The nighttime ones are down on Alki because of the growing issue down there. I would say have everybody call, make sure they're keeping themselves aware, call 911, stay on top of it, talk to their neighbors if they're cordial like that. If you have a block watch email or something where they can discuss what they're seeing and share that information amongst each other so they all know what to keep an eye out for. I think that would be the best plan, and then just call 911. The officers go where 911 takes them. We have limited resources, not trying to make that as an excuse, but with that, we have limited resources to actually proactively patrol neighborhoods, hoping we deter something, because we're going to all the other things that we have to go to.
If you witness or come upon any evidence or property damage or, of course, a victim, please call 911. If you hear what you believe to be gunshots or shots fired, please call 911. And if you can, let us know direction. So, for example, here's my address. I believe it's to the north of me, or I believe it's to the south of me, something like that. That helps our officers to know where to look for property damage or victims or any evidence.
The more people that call in from one neighborhood about shots fired gives us a triangulation of roughly where to go. I get it's that way. That's all we got. But if they call from over there and say it's that way, and they call say it's that way, we triangulate the city. We're more successful that way with finding them.
Thank you. Over here and then here. And then
What is being done to hire more police?
So there's recruitment efforts. I can only speak to what I've heard because I'm not in the recruiting department.
Because it's apparent that there's a shortage.
They have passed our contract. They are putting out word through media resources. The councilperson talked about that. And that is, they have to go through a hiring process. They have to get hired. They have to go through the academy. They have to come out of the academy. They have to go through FTO. It's a very long process. It's not an immediate, we're
Well, I
hiring.
realize that, but is there anything being done?
That's being done now, currently.
there is a hiring bonus. If anyone would like to become a Seattle police officer, we do have a hiring bonus. There's also a State Training Commission Academy, but there is no age cutoff. So if you'd like to be a Seattle police officer, let us know. We'll go here, and then there was in the back there, and then
My name is Beth Keita. I live in the Highland Park neighborhood over by Highland Park Elementary. We recently had a living room conversation with Officer Greto. It was super amazing. I encourage you all to do it if you have questions that are deep. But during that living room conversation, what was brought up was that Seattle was being piloted for the Shot Spotter program, and that some decisions were being made, but there wasn't anything concrete at that time. Do you have any more information about that?
I don't think they went through it because it wasn't working in other cities. That's why.
What is the program?
a shot spotter is more or less so it's a device that detects gunshots. So in other cities across the country, it's been placed in a, let's say an intersection where shots fired are normal. It more or less detects gunshots and then turns on a camera to see if it captures any information or evidence. To my knowledge, it is not coming to Seattle at this time.
Just what does it call about?
In the back there, behind you, Jen. Yes.
Hi, my name is Leah, and I live in California, next to West Seattle High School. So I'm here because I want to be a representation or representative for people with mental health issues. I have severe mental health issues, and thankfully, every time I've had issues, the police have been there and they've been helpful, but it escalates things a lot. And so it sounds like there's a squad team, and I'm wondering if there's a way for locals to get involved with that program, and just like maybe more what things might be like for people that are living in those situations.
Thank you very much for being here and for representing a part of our community. I really appreciate it. My business card is over on the table. I'd love to chat with you. Okay. Thank you. We'll go here and then over here.
Hi, my name is Denise. We live in Triumph and Trenton. We've been there for 42 years. And I do a lot of walking in the West Seattle area. And there's an encampment behind the Target. There's a little tiny park that you have to cut through to get into Westwood Village. There's an encampment down there. And what they did is they put those big cement blocks. And that stopped the encampment. Why can't they put these big cement blocks everywhere? Can't they do that?
And then we can't.
So, eco blocks is what you're referring to. Technically speaking, those are not, to my knowledge, they are not city supported and they are not legal in certain places. To my knowledge, there's very few places in the city that the city has actually supported the placement of those. I know other places where they have just kind of shown up, but to my knowledge, the city has not supported that nor participated in that. There's others.
Why not? Why not? It would keep empty parking there. Why not do it up and down Trenton? Why not?
Be honest.
That turns into more of just trying to solve a problem with a hammer when everybody else has ability to use that space. We need to focus on what the problem is and try to offer that assistance and resources and enforcement. And unfortunately, it does move to their neighborhood and then their neighborhood. And then right now, it's until something gets ironed out, it's going to be a relocation. But we can't then, the next place that shows up, put a concrete block. It's not going to solve the problem. They will find it.
Like Trenton is a real problem because of the high school kids and stuff. And I walk that area every day. I can't walk that area anymore. I'm scared. I've taken pictures of people dealing drugs and smoking whatever, hiding in the woods there, sweeping, taking a dump, whatever. It's a horrible, stinky mess.
The Trenton encampment, we've directed our emphasis units there. That's what
We
we're
saw your
currently
card today.
doing.
Yeah. But it's.
I do want to be respectful of time. Thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone being here. I want to just pause for a moment. Thank our sworn officers for being here. Thank you